welcome back to my channel. If you are new, you are so very welcome and you're in the right place. I am on a journey to achieve complete fulfillment, freedom and happiness in my life, and on that journey I want to take as many people as possible. So today I want to talk to you about something that I have struggled with in the past. It's been a long time since I experienced anxiety now, which is a huge relief for me, but a while back it was something that I had to deal with every single day and it wasn't fun. So I really want to help anyone in the same situation. Maybe you found this video because you are looking for suggestions for somebody you know. I really hope that this can be helpful for you. It would mean a lot to me if you could watch the video to the very end, maybe give me a like and a comment down below so this video can spread to as many people as possible, so I can help as many people as possible. Let's jump into the video. Now, I will say that I am not a therapist, however, I have a lot of knowledge based on my own experiences and my own research, as well as experiences that I have had with people around me. I have dug really deep into this because it was something that I wanted to get rid of from my life. So I will try my best today to share my techniques and my stories so that hopefully you can get rid of this too. So this is for anyone who is struggling with stress or anxiety or just a gnawing feeling that you can't really shake. So the first thing I want to share with you is a couple of breathing exercises. And that might be the go-to for anyone who talks about how to relieve stress or anxiety. But it really helps. So I'm going to share two exercises with you that I have done personally and that I've made other people close to me do, and they do help. The first one is the 2-to-1 technique. So whenever we are stressed or nervous or experiencing any kind of anxiety, this is affecting our breathing. Your breathing becomes faster and shallow. And this is activating what is called the sympathetic nervous system. And this is basically your fight or flight response. So this is obviously not a space that you want to be in. You're literally breathing to the point where you need to escape. I think if you're familiar with anxious feelings, you can definitely relate to the feeling of wanting to escape the situation. And this is where the 2-to-1 breathing technique comes in really handy, because we are going to focus on relaxing that breathing and actually focusing your mind on something else. So the way that you do this is you breathe through your nose and you choose a number. Say, for example, you choose the number 4. This is the number that you're going to breathe in on. So count a slow 4 in, and then what you're going to do, whatever number you've chosen, you're going to double that number on the exhale. So say you've chosen 4, you're going to breathe in for 4 and out for 8. You might want to start with a lower number, maybe 2 or 3 for the first time that you do this. You might find it hard to breathe out for a slow 8, but this is just something you need to work on and really focus on counting. Count the 4 and count the 8 and keep them even. This is going to focus your mind, and your breathing is also going to change so that your fight and flight response is going to calm down. Another breathing technique that I found, and I found it on TikTok, and if you've been here before for my videos, you know that I find a lot of useful tips on TikTok, and this one has really helped me. So it's basically breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, but you do 2 inhales and 1 exhale. So it's like this. Make sure you're sat down for this exercise because you're getting a lot of oxygen to the brain, and especially if you've been breathing quite shallow, you might feel dizzy, so make sure you're sat down. For me, this one really helps. It just clears my mind and just kind of brings me back to zero. You might find that the other one is way more beneficial for you, then you do that one. But try this one as well and just see what works for you. And another thing that you might find a little bit surprising, I did. This is another one that I found on TikTok, and it's by Dr. Karan. I'm pretty sure it was Dr. Karan, pretty sure. Now, if you're not on TikTok, Dr. Karan is literally a reason in itself to be on TikTok. He is a doctor who provides so much value and basically clears up any misconceptions or basically things that you were told that actually isn't true. So I really recommend Dr. Karan on TikTok. Another thing I really want to share is what I did when my anxiety was its absolute worst, like the peak of my anxiety. I would quite literally say out loud, "Hello, anxiety. I gather we are tackling today together. or something along those lines. And by doing this, by acknowledging that it was there, not fighting against it, but working with it, I was able to take that power back. Because I allowed it to be a part of me. Because if you fight that anxiety, if you try to ignore it, all you're doing is giving it fuel, because it's just at the back of your mind and you're trying to ignore it, you're trying to pretend that it's not there. That is never going to work. That is just going to make you more anxious, because it's just in the back looming like a monster. So by basically allowing my anxiety to be a part of me for that day, acknowledging that it was there, it made it so much easier for me to tackle. So why do we feel so anxious all of a sudden, and why do we get mental breakdowns? Why are we so stressed? I personally believe that it comes down to some sort of overwhelm, whether that is you have way too many things to do, or whether you have an image to uphold, whether you have a lot of deadlines in your work or your school work. Maybe you have a lot of people that have a lot of expectations that they want you to meet. Or maybe you're feeling anxious and stressed and you don't even know why. That's what it was like for me. So the peak of my anxiety came quite early on in lockdown. So this would have been maybe April of 2020. Somewhere along those lines. Somewhere where we had already been inside for a while and we didn't really know what was going to happen. It was very up in the air, like what is happening? We're all in the same situation, so you're not really missing anything, but what's going on? That's when my anxiety hit. But I don't know what the trigger was really. And the anxiety would come from nothing. There wouldn't be a specific trigger, something that happened, something that was said, or a scenario. It wouldn't be like I was stood in a shop and it was crowded and I would feel weird, even though I did feel that as well, but that was different. And you could just walk away and it would go away. Like crowded shops during mid-pandemic was not a good place for me. But anyway, at home, I could be sitting in the sofa, either watching TV or reading something or on my phone, and all of a sudden this creeping anxiety would just manifest itself, and it would feel like this heavy feeling on my chest. The best way I can describe it is actually the weight of a small child sitting on you. Now, I'm an auntie, I have a niece and a nephew, so I know exactly what it feels like when somebody is sat on you. But it was that feeling, that weight on my chest, and just this gnawing feeling that I had a million things to do, but no time to do it. And that wasn't even remotely true. I had nothing to do, nowhere to be. However, the anxiety made me feel like I had so many things to do, I had so many places to be, and I was super late. Have you ever woken up in the morning, like properly like, oh my God, I'm late? For some reason, you just feel like you're super late, and maybe you are, but you know that feeling of just being really late and you have no time to get there. You just know you're going to be late. That's a horrible feeling. And that's kind of the feeling that I had, but for no reason whatsoever. So if you have the same sort of anxiety that I had, or if you are in a position where you do have a lot of things to do, but maybe you're doing none of it because there's so many things and you don't know where to start, I have a really good exercise for you. I did share it in one of my previous videos, but I will share it again because it's such a good exercise. So basically what you need is a piece of paper and a pen. You cannot write this on your phone, it has to be by hand. So piece of paper and a pen. And what you're going to do is you're going to take 5 minutes and start writing down everything that is on your mind that is kind of gnawing at you a little bit. Everything. I need to call my mum. I need to call my dad. I need to do the laundry. I need to finish my Netflix show. I need to finish that book I started reading. I'm worried about climate change. I'm worried that the world might end. I'm worried that I won't finish my assignment on time. I'm worried that I won't find the perfect partner, or I'm worried that something will happen to somebody close to me. So take 5 minutes, write down everything that you think about. Now you have a list in front of you. What you're going to do is take that pen, and with that pen, you're going to scratch out everything that you can do nothing about. I'm worried that the world might end. You can do nothing about that. Scratch it out. I'm worried that something might happen to my family. You can do nothing about that. And all that is doing is making you more anxious and worried. So you take that pen and you scratch it out quite vigorously. Be vigorous. Scratch it out so you can't even see that it was there. Scratch it out. So once you've done this, go through that list and be honest with yourself. If there's absolutely nothing you can do about the problem that you've got in front of you, scratch it out. And I find this very therapeutic. Scratch it out until you can't see it anymore. So now what you have is a shorter list than the one that you started with. Now what you're going to do is write them again, but in order of priority. How important are they? And then you're going to work your way down that list. Maybe calling mum is on the top of your list. You can do that now, and then you can just scratch it out. You've done it. But maybe choose 2 things to do today, maybe 3 things, depending on how long it's going to take you to do them and how much effort it is. Because I don't want you to now feel like, oh, now I need to do this whole list. No. The reason we're doing it from highest priority to lowest is because now you can see what you need to do first. Maybe choose a couple of things and then keep working on it tomorrow. But this is a really, really good exercise to kind of focus your mind and get all these things that are just floating around there down on a piece of paper so you can see them in front of you. And it's not just a million things that are floating around and you're just not able to focus or even start doing anything at all because there's so many things to do, you're not doing anything. And I completely relate. This is something that I've really struggled with, and was one of the reasons why I was never really achieving my goals, because there was just a million things and I would start something and not finish it. So it's such a good exercise. I really recommend doing it. Even if you're not anxious, even if you're not stressed, it's a really good exercise to do to just collect your thoughts. Now, if you have anxiety that stems from trying to uphold an image, maybe this is your status at work or your status at school or in the neighborhood, sort of like a keeping up with the Joneses sort of thing. Like who's got the nicest car, who's got the nicest lawn. If this is the sort of anxiety or stress that you're feeling, this is a journey and it's not going to happen overnight, but it's something that is super important to start working with if you want to achieve happiness and a balanced life where you don't care what other people think about you. Because there's nothing more attractive than someone who is happy and fulfilled and literally don't give a shit about what other people think about them. The simple truth is you have to put yourself first. Now, I'm aware that maybe in some work situations, climbing to the top requires a certain level of keeping your status and keeping your reputation up. That's fine. If whatever you're working towards is worth it, and at the end of it, when you get what you have been working towards, when you achieve your goal, if all of it's going to be worth it and you're going to look at the people that you've left behind and go, ha, I made it. If it's going to be worth it at the end, then you keep going. Then you just keep plowing through. Sometimes we have to go through some poo to achieve the goal at the other end, right? So if it's worth it, if it's worth being a little bit anxious, if it's worth being tired and working hard for a while and being a little bit depressed for a little bit of time because you're going to achieve that pot of gold at the other end or achieve that fulfillment, achieve that freedom, then it's worth it. Then you keep going. But if it's not, if you can see yourself at the other end being just as stressed, just as miserable, maybe there's a promotion at the end and it's going to make you even more stressed and even more unhappy, is it worth it? Only you can answer that, but you really have to be truthful with yourself. If you want to get rid of your anxiety, get rid of your stress, look at where you're going. Is it actually where you want to go? Quite honestly, the biggest flex you can have on anyone is the fact that you are truly happy and fulfilled and carefree. But like I said, this isn't something that's going to happen overnight. What you need to do is work on it step by step, doing the things that will push you towards your goal. For me, this is doing yoga every single morning. It's working on my online business every single day, even if it's just for a little while. I do something to push it forward every single day. Maybe you want to become more knowledgeable about something. Read a little bit about it every single day. And another thing that I do that is so helpful, and a lot of people really scoff at this, and they really shouldn't, because it's one of the most powerful things that you can do. Be grateful. Sit down and pick at least 3 things that you are really grateful for every single day. Take a moment, take a deep breath, and just choose 3 things. And it can be the most random things. I'm really grateful for this cup of coffee. I'm really grateful for my friends. I'm really grateful for the sunshine today. I'm grateful that I have a bed to sleep in. And I'm really grateful for that beautiful butterfly that just flew by. It can be absolutely anything. And it might sound like a really small thing to do, but this allows you to rewire your brain, to stop focusing on the negative and start seeing the beauty and the positivity in your life. And you will slowly become the person that doesn't see just the dog poo that somebody selfishly didn't pick up, but you also see the beautiful flower bed right next to it. And you're not so focused on that negative thing that you saw, and you don't carry that negative feeling with you. So I really hope some of this resonated with you and you found it helpful. If I can help just one single person have a brighter day or work through their stress, work through their anxiety, and come out the other end happier and more fulfilled, I have done my job. One last thing I'll leave you with is there's a really nice song that I've been listening to recently, and it's a really good one if you're feeling a little bit stressed or anxious or feeling that you should be doing more than you're doing. And it's Floating Through Space by Sia. Just relax and listen because it's a really good message. So please do let me know what you think in the comments down below. Subscribe for more videos like this, and I will see you in the next video. Have a lovely day. Bye.